So I'm just going to talk for a few minutes about some of the common mistakes we see being made by enterprise technology companies from a digital marketing perspective. So the first is very often they try and leap into all of this activity without a really clear structure for their brand itself. And as a consequence, there tends to be a real kind of lack of consistency, and it's not really adding up to tell a story. So it's so important that the business not only has a clear sense of who it is, what it stands for, who's it targeting, what its core competencies are, etc., but also in terms of how all of that manifests itself from an aesthetic perspective and also in terms of the language that you use. And I promise you, if you have that foundation in place, you're going to make the lives of everyone involved in the creation and distribution of content from a digital point of view thereafter so much easier. The second mistake that we so often see is around the content strategy, or should I say the absence of a content strategy. And very often people in the marketing teams are expected to just create from a blank canvas new content ideas every single month. And this is such an exhausting and frankly ineffective way of working. It's so important that the people involved in that content production process, they have really clear what we call content pillars to refer to. They understand that these are the different themes that they're talking about. These are the objectives. These are the channels through which that content is going to get created, etc. And they go through a really systematic process. It's going to make everything so much more efficient for that marketing function. The third issue is so often we see these technology companies, there's such an opportunity at the moment within the kind of B2B influencer marketing space. Obviously, influencer marketing in the consumer world has been done to death for like over a decade, but in the B2B world, and particularly within kind of enterprise technology, it's still in its infancy. And as a consequence, there's a huge opportunity there. So all you have to do is you have to identify those people who wield really significant influence over the audience that you're trying to get in front of and to engage with them, whether that's via an interview or some other means of interaction. Now, this achieves a number of things. Not only is it going to elevate the perception of your brand through that association, but it's also going to result in you capturing the best content you could ever hope for. After all, the whole point is that these are absolute rock stars in that world. Like, you're not going to get access to any greater insight than from these individuals. The third thing is that it also extends the reach of your content to the audience that you're trying to get in front of, because the whole point is that these people have that audience. And of course, they've not got to where they are today by underestimating the value of good self-PR. So through the right systems, you're going to find that actually you get, I should say, the right understanding, the right arrangement between you and that influencer. You're going to find that actually probably the bulk of your reach, of your engagement is going to be achieved via their audience rather than through your own, which is precisely the point of this activity. So don't get me wrong, there's an awful lot more that we could be talking about in terms of common mistakes made by enterprise technology companies, but these are some of the most profound. And if we can establish those foundations, you're going to find that everything that follows is so much more impactful and so much more efficient.